Good morning, good evening. Welcome to meeting 551 of Blue Quest. I am Sheila McIntyre, your Sergeant at Arms for today. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. You are now inside the code of conduct of a Toastmasters meeting. Please be advised that the meeting is being recorded and that it may not be possible to pause the recording. The following are the meeting rules. Please be advised that any behavior that disturbs the flow of the meeting will result in removal from the meeting room without any warning. Please ensure that your noise-making devices are either switched off or are on silent mode. Please speak responsibly on religion, sex, and politics in your speeches, and as far as possible, please keep your videos on and audio off and applause flowing throughout. Be the kind of audience for others you would like to have for yourself. Toastmaster of the day, Table Topics Master, and General Evaluator, please ensure an audio and video check before handing over to respective role players. Role players, please rename yourself for the role that you are playing tonight. And please acquaint yourself with the role of the timer. The timer will use background changes or screen sharing in order to indicate the time that you are using, and it will be one of 3 cards. Green means you reach the minimum qualifying time. Yellow indicates that it's a good time to start concluding. Red specifies that you have 30 seconds more or you will be disqualified. Individual session timings will be explained in due time. We encourage you to use the Zoom emoticons generously to encourage role players, and we sincerely request you not to send chat messages to everyone or to the speaker on stage. In fact, we would actually rather that you refrain altogether and focus on the speaker. Reiterating, please stay on mute until specifically requested to unmute, and there will be different polls launched throughout the meeting. Please be looking for those. They will be closed after 30 seconds. Now, I would love to hand over the stage to our presiding officer today, Toastmaster Kapil.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheila. Good morning, everyone. I welcome all the members and the guests in our meeting number 551. Though I don't see many guests today, barring Raj, and he is not a guest. I don't treat him as a guest. This week is a training week for us. 3 out of 7 members have already completed TLI 2 and 4 more to go. I plan to do it over the weekend. Sheila, you may also want to do it sometime this week. Just find a suitable time for you, either in India or US. Okay. I watched one old interview of our cricket captain Virat Kohli last week, and he was asked by the interviewer that who is your favorite sports personality apart from cricket. Now, Virat replied that his favorite sports personality is Cristiano Ronaldo, though he admitted that the best player on the planet is Messi. But why he likes Cristiano more than Messi, he explained. He said that Messi comes with a natural ability, natural talent, and he's a God-gifted player. But Cristiano and his stature through his hard work. He is more hardworking than Messi, and people who are more hardworking generally earns more respect than the natural abilities. I think this validates one particular statement that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I'm not saying that Messi doesn't work hard on his skills, but Cristiano is more hardworking than Messi. That's what Virat observed. Now, from soccer to Toastmasters, I am shifting gears. I would want to invite someone who is talented and he is hardworking as well. You will find him everywhere in almost each and every Toastmasters meeting. And I'm glad that he is sharing his experience, how to participate in speech contest. So looking forward to this meeting, everyone. Let's put our hands together to welcome our Toastmaster of the day, Rupinder. Rupinder, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Welcome one and all to the 551st meeting of Toastmasters International. Last week, I got to know that we were going to have 3 speech contests in District 41 this year, and I decided why not have a theme around that. I will tell you what those contests are and what are the best ways to prepare for that contest and what those contests entail. Speech contests are a way of taking a measure of our communication journey. It is a measure of how far along have we come. Basically, there are a total of 6 speech contests that are conducted by Toastmasters International. Districts have a choice of choosing maximum 4 out of 5. Now, I just said 6, but districts have a choice of choosing maximum 4 out of 5. What does this mean? What this means is that 1 out of those 6 contests, which is the videotape contest, is for clubs that are undistricted. Now, that is soon going to change with virtual meetings enabled and undistricted clubs becoming a part of the districted clubs. So we will see how that goes. But what are the other 5 contests? I will explain in due course. Suffice for now that the clubs must choose a maximum of, districts must choose a maximum of 4 out of those 5 contests and at least 1. That 1 contest has to be the international speech contest. What that means for you, I will explain in due course. For now, let me tell you how a typical Toastmasters meeting goes. In a typical Toastmasters meeting, there are 3 sections, and coincidentally, District 41, in their infinite wisdom, have decided to have only 3 contests this year. The first one is the prepared speeches section, and we've got a gallery of eminent speakers today. We've got a speaker making her debut in public speaking. We've got someone doing a researching and presenting speech, and we've got someone who's trying to understand their communication style. The second part of the meeting is the table topics, where table topics will be given at random to all speakers, to everyone in the meeting, depending on whether or not they've played a role. Those who have not played a role will get a preference. And you'll get 1 to 2 minutes to speak about the table topics. Finally, we have the evaluation section, which I believe is one of the most important sections of a Toastmasters meeting. This is where everyone gets evaluated. Our general evaluator today told us a wonderful story about Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi and gave us this wonderful quote: "Hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard." I know him as one very hardworking person, a very hardworking Toastmaster. In fact, when I asked him to take on the engaging female path, he was very circumspect. But he followed it up with a wonderful performance on humor as a Toastmaster of the meeting. I hope I'll be able to emulate him today, but for now, let's hear from the man, Toastmaster Kapil Kakkar.
Thank you, Rupinder. All right, as your general evaluator today, my job is to observe the meeting and I will present my report in the 3rd section, which is the evaluation section. To perform my role better, I have a team of 3 tag team players and 3 evaluators. It's my duty to invite our tag team player. I will be inviting timer first, Sumangal, to please come on the stage and explain her role.
Hello, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. I'm the timer for the day. I'm responsible to keep a track of the time taken by various speakers and role players Typically, prepared speech is timed for 5 to 7 minutes. I will show the green card at 5 minutes, the yellow card at 6 minutes, and the red card at 7 minutes. There is a grace period of 30 seconds on either side. I request speech evaluators to apprise me if speech time is different from 5 to 7 minutes. For table topics, each speaker is required to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. I will show the green card at 1 minute, the yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, the red card at 2 minutes. Table topic, speakers have a grace period of 30 seconds on the plus side. Speech evaluators are allotted 2 to 3 minutes for evaluation. The green card will be shown at 2 minutes, the yellow card at 2 minutes 30 seconds, and the red card at 3 minutes. There is a grace period of 30 seconds on either side. Please note that as a timer, I will keep the cards up until the speaker stops speaking, unless otherwise instructed by the Toastmaster of the day or general evaluator. I will provide no signal, verbal or non-verbal, to indicate that your time is up. Any speaker who finishes before or after the grace period will not be considered. I'll submit my report in the evaluation session. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Sumangal. And you will be changing your backgrounds, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let me invite our counter of the day, Elyssa.
Good morning to everyone and good evening to some of you. I will be the ah counter today, keeping track of all those ahs and ums, but I have a special challenge for you. Hopefully you can see this word. It's one that we use often and it's very unnecessary. I want to challenge you today to use specificity. So replace this word thing with what it's actually describing. Is it an industry, an enterprise, a feeling? Try to use the word to replace thing. And that way you can improve your specificity. And I will be watching out for all of you who make that choice and keeping track, give you a report at the end. Thanks. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Elyssa. Okay, now it's time to invite Grammarian of the day, Hope Williams.
Thank you, Kapil, and good morning, everyone. I am your grammarian of the day. So today I will be listening for wonderful phrases that tickle my ear. I will be noting any phrases that stand out and any uses of grammar that are exceptional or need to be maybe exceptionally corrected. I have chosen a beautiful word of the day. The word of the day is arete. Arete is a word of virtue, meaning, and I will change my background, hope has so much vigor, so much honesty. The arete of her spirit just cradles me to sleep at night. So listen to your words, listen to your grammar, and live today full of arete. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you, Hope. Now it's time to start our section 1, which is prepared speeches. For that, let me hand over the stage back to our Toastmaster of the day, Rupinder.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. And Hope, I will try to use the word of the day, arete, as much as possible. You may count that as one of the usages. Would love if you could copy paste the meaning of that in the chat. Now, speaking of the chat, I have just shared a link with you. Now, this link goes to Speak. It is a movie about the Toastmasters International Speech Contest. It is about the contest that happened somewhere in 2012, was won by Lashunda Rondell, and it chronicles the journey of the 10 semi-finalists. If you get a chance, do watch it. It's about 1.5 hours long, but it gives you an excellent insight into what goes on behind the scenes in a contest. And speaking of contests, here is the first one. All districts are supposed to conduct this contest, and that is the Toastmasters International Speech Contest. It culminates in what we call the World Championship of Public Speaking. We already have 8 semi-finalists who are lined up. And I'm happy to report that Kim Ang, one of the speakers who came to our club, has qualified for the finals. Let's have a round of applause for Kim before I move forward. So, what happens in the international speech contest? Well, you are supposed to give a 5 to 7 minutes speech, which generally should be informational, should be inspirational in nature. It cannot be plagiarized. Maximum 25% of the content can be lifted and the source must be so qualified. The way it works is that you nominate yourself at the club level, and then depending on the district you're in, the top 2 will move to the area level, and from the area level, depending on the district you're in, 1 or 2 people will move to the division level, and from there to the district level. At the district level, what happens is that the winner gets to go into the regional quarterfinals. So a region is a collection of about 7 to 10 districts. The top 2 from each region make it to what we call the semi-finals. So effectively, if you win at the district level, you can count yourself as among the top 200 best speakers in the world. If you make it to the semi-finals, then you are among the 14 best speakers in the world. And if you make it to the finals, you're among the 8 best speakers in the world. How about? Now, another statistic that I want to share with you. There are 350,000 people in the world who are Toastmasters, which is not even 0.005% of the total world population. You already stand out in the top 1%. And as any business coach will tell you, being in the top 1% is a privilege enough. So is being a prepared speaker today. So when you are practicing for your prepared speeches, think of it as you're preparing for your international speech contest. And with that, I will start with the prepared speeches. Our first prepared speaker is going to take her first tentative steps into the world of Toastmasters. She will be delivering her icebreaker today. Now, typically, when a person delivers their icebreaker, we give them a standing ovation. However, given the fact that we are in a virtual medium and it will place our cameras at an awkward angle, we will not give her a standing ovation. Instead, she will get a standing ovation certificate. But before I call her on stage, I would like to invite her speech evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Sourindra. The international speech contest has a requirement that you must be level 2 or competent communicator qualified in order to participate, except when you are part of a charter club, a charter member of a charter club, in which case this restriction does not apply to you. None of us is, BlueQuest is not a newly chartered club, so none of us are chartered members of a newly chartered club. So every one of us, if we want to participate in the international speech contest, we have to be level 2 certified. I can say with confidence that distinguished Toastmaster Sourindra Bhowmick is more than qualified since he is a distinguished Toastmaster. For now, I want him to read out the speech purpose for Pratima's speech.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh. It's really a privilege today morning to be able to evaluate someone who I have inducted into this club, and I have actually been amazed by her amount of commitment towards Toastmasters. She is doing her first speech, and the topic that she's chosen for today is Confessions of My Childhood. The purpose of this project is for her to introduce herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. I'm really excited and waiting to hear her. So over to you, Mr. The Toastmaster of the day, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh, to take it forward from here.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Bhowmick. Pratima is embarking on her public speaking journey. First of all, let's have a round of applause for her. Pratima, since she is at level 1, the first speech, she's got about 7 more speeches to go before she becomes eligible for the international speech contest. When I asked her what is her favorite contest, she said the evaluation contest. Was it the table topics? It was the table topics contest because of the spontaneity it offers. I really applaud her for her courage. I would not want to go in a table topic contest if I'm a first-time Toastmaster. I'm pretty sure that that courage will be on display as Pratima talks about confessions of her childhood. Pratima, let's do a very quick audio video check for you.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
You are audible, you are visible. So Pratima Razdan, confessions of my childhood. Confessions of my childhood, Pratima Razdan.
It was 1st March 1994. A child was born. A child who would be loved by many and hated by more. That child was Justin Bieber. And now that I have your attention, let me tell you what was happening on the other side of the world. On the other side of the world, 4-year-old Pratima was being punished for her crimes. What had she done? She had just beaten up a kid who had not followed the 11th commandment of Moses. Share thy chocolates. A very warm welcome to all dear fellow Toastmasters and guests. Even at the age of 31 today, that incident is deeply engraved in my memory. Though the 30 minutes of my parents trying their kung fu skills on me after that, it's not worth remembering. Overall, this incident taught me 2 very important lessons of life. Firstly, as Newton says, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Secondly, when you have beaten up a kid, do not return home early. Being notorious was an important aspect of my childhood personality. There was no tree in the vicinity which I had not climbed, no house in which I had not eaten, and absolutely no kid I had not beaten, arm wrestled with. Cookie jars that my mother placed 10 feet off the ground were never out of my reach. As I grew up, it only got better. I now thought I was the female version of a Superman. So I jumped off the 2nd floor of my building and survived to tell the tale. I admit I was a wild child, but I was also highly sensitive and curious, as most kids are. I was intrigued by the flowers, the bees, the grass beneath my feet, the glorious stars above me, and with nature at large. Though on the other hand, questions of life, purpose, society, religion, inequality in the society often left me sad and baffled. I found it very difficult to understand that why chaos and misery existed in this planet, and in fact was often encouraged to continue. One may say that existentialism had hit me soon when I was 9. It hit me young, it hit me hard. But fortunately, I moved on in the show of life. because I had learned well from the band Queen. The show must go on. The show must go on, and so did it. My dear fellow Toastmasters, I continued to play roles in this show of life. The main character that I took up was that of an explorer and seeker of truth. Subsequently, I welcomed my arms to all that life had to offer to me in terms of experiences, and also selectively chose some experiences in swimming, music, dancing, and athletics. Fast forwarding and talking about my adult life and my areas of interest and passions, reading, writing, music, and all major art forms intrigue me. Though I specifically enjoy dancing, and after having learned and taught some major dance forms, I can say with conviction that dance forms and art have taught me some major life lessons. I also enjoy traveling, though I hate the very process of it. Sometimes I wish if I could just close my eyes and think of the place I want to travel in and be teleported to that place. Take me to the paradise of learning. I see it's starting to work. As far as my profession goes, I worked as a teacher for almost a decade in a school and NGOs. The pure love of the innocent ones further helped me to dwell in this harmonious ocean of life. Talking about where I stand as of now in my current life, I would say that I have had some experiences which has drawn me closer to yoga, nature, and to the never-ending magic of this universe. I am a big fan of this universe. And every day, it is my intention and my endeavor to live a life which is authentic and true to myself. So, Toastmasters and my dear friends, this brings me to an end of my speech. Thank you so much for your patient listening. I appreciate it. And I have good news for you. I quit beating up my peers when I was 4 years old for not following the 11th commandment of Moses. So your chocolates are safe. However, I must still warn most of you to play safe when it comes to me, because you don't know yet what the 12th commandment of Moses is. Thank you, and over to you, dear Modi.
Be sure that there are the more adventurous amongst us who want to find out what the 12th commandment of Moses is. But for now, I will ask everyone to take 1 minute and write feedback for Toastmaster Pratima and her wonderful speech. Timer, please show me the red card after 1 minute. Thank you, Madam Timer, and thank you everyone. After that demonstration of editing by Toastmaster Pratima, it is time now for another Toastmaster to demonstrate his editing. Before I call him on stage, I would like to call his speech evaluator, whom I'm going to spotlight now, Toastmaster Anna Vista. Now, is Toastmaster Anna Vista qualified to participate in an international speech contest? Well, the rules state you must be level 2 or more. She has completed a whole level, and that is she has completed a whole path, which is leadership development, which I am looking to complete. But for now, before completing leadership development on my own, I would like Toastmaster Anna to read out the speech purpose for Toastmaster Ashok.
Thank you, DTM Rupinder. Today, Ashok will be speaking from his research and presenting. The purpose of this speech is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. Key points to look for is a well-organized and well-delivered speech. It may contain humorous, informational, or any style. And I will be looking at the content of the speech as not a report, but as an overview. Thank you, Ruby.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anna. And now I would like to spotlight our second speaker for today, and that is Toastmaster Ashok. Now, Toastmaster Ashok, like Pratima, also loves the idea of a table topics contest. Pratima, you've already got competition over here. So Ashok is now attempting his level 1 speech 3, which is researching and presenting, which means that he's got 3 more speeches to go before he qualifies for the international speech contest. Before that happens, I would like to do a very quick audio video check with Ashok.
Hi, Rupinder.
Hi, Ashok. You are audible. You are visible. Toastmaster Ashok, D4, change your to-do approach. D4, change your to-do approach. Toastmaster Ashok.
Thank you, Rupinder. Thanks a lot. Good morning, everyone. How to improve your performance and productivity? This is a question for which humanity is searching answer since its inception. However, last 200 years have been very massive in terms of work done to search answer of this question. Everyone is searching how to improve the productivity, how to improve the performance. Every year, millions of digital pages gets written, hundreds of books, websites, apps get launched, and everyone is trying to find out answer of this question. When you are surrounded with so much of knowledge, you are surrounded with so much of tools, techniques, gyan about improving performance and productivity, then we all would have been improved our performance by now. But if you yourself and others expect you to perform at a better level, this means you have a scope of improvement. If that's the expectation, this means the way we are approaching the task, the way we are looking at the work, that has to be relooked. Because the approach we have taken till now, that has to be improved. I am Ashok Sharma, and I am today in my third speech. I would like to talk about very different techniques to approach the task. The way you handle the task, the traditional approach which we have taken has to be removed, and you have to take a very different approach to look at the task. If we talk about our approach towards the work, I would like to ask you a question. How you react when you see a snake? You have 2 options. Either you escape from the place, or you just, if you don't have scope of escaping, you try to kill the snake and save your life. Don't you think society has taught her the same way to handle the task? As soon as it comes to you, you jump onto it, try to finish it off, and as it is done, then you say, oh, now I'm peaceful. Although you are not peaceful, because another task will come and again you will jump onto that. So today, I'm going to talk about a very different approach to handle the task. I call it D4, where every D has a different meaning. I will explain all 4 Ds. So the approach which society has taught you to handle a task like a snake, that again is not working. Otherwise, this entire planet would have been super productive, which we are not. So here comes the first step, the first D, D1. And D1 is delete. Whenever you get a task, look into that task, analyze if you are able to delete that task. And in your analysis, you should check, will it have any short-term or long-term impact? If there is no impact, you must not do that task. You should delete that task from your list. This will give you scope and time to work more on those things which are important. The worst utilization of your effort and time is doing a task with full devotion, dedication, attention, which is not required to be done. So look for first D1, and if you are able to delete the task, please delete it. In your D1 analysis, if you find a task can't be deleted, it has to be done. Then go to D2. And D2 is defer. I repeat, defer. If it can't be deleted, can it be pushed for next date? Can it be pushed for next week, next month? If yes, please push it. Again, this is very different to our traditional approach. We want to do everything today. But pushing this task to a later date will help you to get more time today to do important things. Defer is the second approach. Defer it for later date. Now, in your D2, if you find that task can't be deferred also, it has to be done today. It need immediate attention. It need immediate action. Then you should look for third D. And the third D is delegate. Find out who can do it for you. Definitely, delegate will not help 100%. Person will be able to help you 70%, 80%, 90%. But by putting those additional 20, 30%, you will be able to complete task 100%. You should look for third option, which is delegate. If you find a task, if you get a task and that can't be deleted, that can't be deferred, that can't be delegated, that's a task which you need to do. That's a task which actually is important. That's a task which will add value to you. That's a task which will create impact for you. And that's a task which you should do. Last D is do. But do should not be your first approach, which we are generally in. Delete, defer, delegate. Whatever is left, do that. That's something for which you are meant. Fellow Toastmasters, I would like to conclude my speech by telling you that we are human beings. We are wired with our habits and thought process, and our society has taught a very different approach, which I spoke in the beginning. And what I'm talking right now is very different. But this different needs a try. Please give it a try, and you will find it working. It has worked for me. It has worked for many others. It may work for you also. Thank you. Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Ashok, for explaining the 4D approach. It's something that I also follow. And I believe that successful leaders actually delegate more than 75% of their work. So we will now move on to our speaker number 3. Before I call her on stage, I would like to tell you that of the 3 of the contests that I mentioned, she fancies herself as an evaluator, and she loves the evaluation speech contest. More about her. First, let us talk about her speech evaluator, whom I'm going to spotlight. Now, I asked Sumit as to how far he was in his pathways journey. He said that he had completed level 1. Then I asked him that, have you done anything at level 2? And he said, yes, understanding your leadership style. So I asked him, have you completed it? He did not answer. I'm going to choose the best case scenario. I'm going to say that Sumit has got 2 more projects before he becomes eligible for the international speech contest. And for now, I would like him to read out the speech objectives or the speech purpose of the speaker.
Sheila McIntyre is giving her speech on presentation mastery from the path presentation mastery from the level 2. And the project is understanding your communication style. Time allotted for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. The purpose of the project is for Sheila to learn about different styles of communication and identify her primary style of leadership, and let us know also what is the impact of her primary style of leadership on others. Over to you, Rupinder.
Yes, and I missed out on something. We did not have a minute of silence for Ashok. Let's take that minute of silence to write feedback for him, and then I'll call Sheila on stage. Sheila, you got 1 more minute to relax. Okay, are we past the 1 minute time? Thank you. And in that 1 minute, I actually got disconnected and then I got reconnected. Okay, I was trying to spotlight myself for some reason I could not, and then I realized that I got disconnected. But I'm hoping that does not happen again. Let's get Sheila on the spotlight. Adding you to the spotlight. Sheila, let's do a very quick audio video check.
Can you hear me? Am I audible?
You are audible and you are visible. Sheila McIntyre. Situations. Fun. Once again. Sheila McIntyre. The best way to communicate. Sheila McIntyre.
Good evening, good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Last Wednesday, I got off the phone from the garage, the muffler and brake place to be more specific, indicating what needed to be fixed on our vehicle. Into the living room I go and I tell my husband, the garage just called and said, you have to have your resonator fixed, a pipe, and something else. There's too many parts on the car to keep track of what it all is. My husband says to me, we don't need the resonator fixed. I said, why not? He said, the garage took care of that a few years ago. Me to my husband. I am not calling this guy back. He has zero personality. I don't want to talk to him anymore. I will pay the extra money to get all of it fixed. My husband wasn't happy with that answer. He gets his phone out. He starts dialing. I said to him, don't make him mad. In my mind, I'm thinking, if he makes the guy mad, where they brought me home today, and I'm hoping they will come and get me tomorrow for my vehicle, tomorrow that wouldn't happen. My worst nightmare is that he's going to make the man mad. He calls. Hi, you just talked to my wife a few minutes ago about the resonator. I was under the impression that that came in multiple pieces. The man says, now they're on speakerphone, mind you. The man says, it all comes as one piece. My husband, I thought it came as a couple of different pieces. I hear the man. I'm thinking, oh no, it's going south. Here it comes. He's fine. This is not good news. He's getting mad. My husband at this point just listens. The man proceeds to say, well, we could weld a couple of different pieces. We could do it for $250. My husband, that's great. We'll do that. He gets off the phone. See, baby, we just saved $150. Yes, yes, you did. I didn't say that at the time, but yes, he did. This is an example of direct communication. My husband is excellent at it. He knows his boundaries, he's persistent, and he will hold the line when necessary. Unfortunately, I am not a direct communicator. I am surrounded by many direct communicators. Just about everybody in my life is a direct communicator, but I'm not. In fact, on my communication style inventory, guess where direct communication listed? That's right at the bottom, as a 1. At the top was supporting. Now, supporting means I'm empathetic, I'm encouraging, I take boatloads of time to help people through what they're going through. And I just am worried about the person in general. This can cause a problem because if I don't create boundaries, which direct people are very good at creating, I end up being late for things, or I end up taking extra time that I might not have, or worse yet, I may end up being walked all over like a doormat. Not a good scenario at all. What I've learned in the last few years, being around my husband, my mom, my best friend, who are all direct communicators, is that you definitely have to set boundaries, and you definitely have to make sure that you can say the word no. The unfortunate problem with me is when I hear people communicate in a direct way, I feel like they're being harsh, and I don't want to be harsh. So I do the opposite because that's my mode of communication. Is direct communication the right way to speak? Is that the perfect communication mode? No. What about my second one, which is initiating? Now this, sometimes I will talk your ear off. If I learn to be comfortable with you, I will talk your ear off. In fact, I have to reel myself in, because if I don't remind myself that not everybody is on board with what I'm saying, I can monopolize the whole conversation. Interesting for me, not so much for everybody else in the room. In addition to this tendency to sometimes monopolize the conversation, I can be spontaneous. But the problem is that, again, if I don't create boundaries, I can put myself in a bad situation. So is initiating the best way to communicate? No. What about my third one? Now, if you asked me 20 years ago, what is your style of communication? Fresh out of college, guess what I was? I was very analytical. Every I had to be dotted, every T had to be crossed. Everything picked apart, mulled over, had to be methodical, because if I wasn't methodical, I hadn't thought it out enough. 18 years in the classroom and dozens of classrooms later, guess what I've learned? Kids hate analytical. So I have learned that I have to be a little bit more spontaneous and a little less methodical. And sometimes I just have to be spontaneous. The kids know what to expect. It can be a very boring classroom. So is direct or initiating or analytical the best way to communicate? The answer, no. What about direct? No. I bet you came on here thinking, hey, she's going to tell me the best way to communicate, right? The answer would be no. The answer is this. You have a method that works for you. And if you try and be someone else and communicate like they communicate, you can't pull it off because that's not you, and that's okay. But the important thing to remember is that when you look at your method of communication, which is your best way of communicating, you also need to look at the negatives. Look at the positives, but look at the negatives. And who around you can you pull things from their communication style that can make you a better communicator? After all, relationships will live or die by how we communicate with other people. If we sow into those relationships negative things, we will get a negative relationship. If we sow into those relationships good things, we will get a good relationship. So what can you pull from those around you that will help your communication style be even better than what it currently is? Thank you.
Oh, Sheila, what I can tell you is that Sunday I gave the same speech, Understanding Your Communication Style. And I wish I had waited because I would have found a new way of giving the speech. Thank you so very much, everyone. Let's write feedback for Sheila. Tama, please show me a red card after 1 minute. Thank you, timer. I will now launch the polls for the best speaker. Choose the best. Here it goes. And while that is happening, I am going to move on to the next section of our speech. Before I do that, let me clarify one thing, and this was corrected by Raj Mehta. The competent communicator eligibility for participating in a speech contest is you must have completed 6 speeches. And coincidentally, Raj Mehta happens to be our table topics master. Now, in a table topic speech, in a table topic speech contest, what happens? If let's say there are 5 contestants, one contestant will remain in the room. The 5 contestants are moved to another area where they cannot hear the first contestant.
I think his system is dropped, and I suggest Raj, can you take over from here and
Table
start?
topic speech contest.
He's back.
My connection is not good. I'm not being audible. All right, let me try and change my connection. Well, that is happening. Now, when I asked our table topics master as to why table topic speech contests were important, he said that they represent the more realistic situations of life, such as sales pitches, handling wife or a boss. I don't know how handling wife comes in that. Winning someone heart. Wow. And they contribute better in removing the fear of public speaking. I agree with that. One can live without the skill of prepared speeches, but not without the skill of impromptu speaking. I totally agree with that. And his final argument, we admire a person more who can convince in 2 minutes than a person who can convince in 18 minutes. That is a nice jibe at the TEDx speakers. Let me now not keep the spotlight on me, instead turn it over to the man of the moment, distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Rupinder Singh, distinguished Toastmaster. Friends, this is the section wherein we all are speakers, and I'm not going to leave any one of them, any one of you, because I have got enough topics. The objective of the session is to learn the art of speaking extempore, to face situations which may come to you all of a sudden. And every participant shall be allowed to speak from 1 to 2 minutes. If the speaker goes beyond 2 minutes and 30 seconds, or he speaks less than 1 minute, the speaker shall be disqualified for winning any award. Since this meeting is about contests, I have taken the topics from different contests, be it at the club level, area level, division level, or district levels. Some of the contests were witnessed by me, and some of the contests were witnessed by some other members in the Toastmasters. So going ahead, I would like to invite Toastmaster Elyssa Schneider. Would you like to take the first topic, Anisha?
Yes, it would be my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, Elyssa. Your topic is, if you sweat hard during peace, you won't be required to shed blood during wars. If you sweat hard during peace, you won't be required to shed blood during wars. Over to Elyssa.
I think the best thing that comes to mind when you speak about sweating during times of peace and then not shedding blood during times of war is that you make yourself so useful, incredibly essential, that when war comes along, they just can't cart you off. Now, I'm trying to think of what this would look like in history. We've had wars in history when we speak of World War II, which was a global event. And I can only imagine those factory managers, CEOs, who turned over their equipment and their machines to be used in the war effort. This is what comes to mind. Now, maybe we can learn a lesson from these examples from history. And the fact that in our own lives, perhaps it's best to take advantage of when peace comes along to really work and sweat hard. You will never know when war is around the corner. This is the time when things are going right, when events are going right. To take advantage of that, do your best, do your hardest, don't be afraid to sweat. You won't die from it, even though it may feel like it. And really work hard to save up, store up, so that when wartime does come, you are prepared. Will you sweat blood? Will they send you off to war? That is the question that remains to be seen. But can you do your best? Can you make yourself indelible in people's minds, stand out, so that when war comes, you're the last person they ship off because you're the most valuable asset to your country? That is the question. I leave that with you and over to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Elyssa Schneider, for taking the topic and speaking so well. Moving on, may I request Toastmaster Sumangal to take the next topic? Sumangal?
Yeah.
Would you like to take- Okay, thank you, Sumangal. The topic is, let someone else win today. Let someone else win today. Over to Toastmaster Sumangal.
Okay. Thank you, Table Topic Master, for the topic. Let someone win today. So when we go in any competition, we always have the feeling that we have to win. We always give with the go with this situation or uh, this thing in our mind that we will have to win this competition. Now, when will you want the other person to win? When will want the others to win that particular competition? There must be chances in our family when we are competing with our own family members, when we are competing with our friend circles, and then letting the other person win can give us happiness. Like when we are competing, for example, there are times when I am competing with my own brother, and when I see the happiness in his face when he wins against me, as I being the elder person and he is younger to me, then I see a sense of pleasure in my eyes seeing his happiness. So those the times when we have our family or someone who thinks that seeing the other person win will bring a winning feeling to us indirectly, then I will definitely try that day that let someone else win. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster. Table
Thank
Topic
you,
Master.
Toastmaster Sumangal. That was great. Moving on, may I request now our first speaker, Toastmaster Pratima. Would you like to take a table topic? Thank you, Pratima, for nodding. Toastmaster Pratima, what would be the world like when you wake up one morning in 2050? What would be the world like when you wake up one morning in 2050? Toastmaster Pratima. Pratima, you're not audible.
Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Okay. So, everyone, let us examine how the world looks like currently. It's a mix. It's a good mixed bag, isn't it? On one hand, you see competition, but on the other hand, you also see cooperation. On one hand, you see things that are sacred, but on the other hand, you also see things that are profane. You could say that the world is a world of dichotomy, a world of contradiction, a world of duality, right? That is the world that we currently live in, 2021. Now let's assume how would we want our world to look like in 2050? How many of you would vote for complete cooperation, complete harmony for all human beings, no wars between individuals, no wars externally, regionally, and most importantly, no internal wars? I would like to see myself in a world which has a lot of peace, a lot of world love, and a lot of regard for humankind at large. A world, as Sumangal said, where we would be happy to see the other person shine. Because trust me, my friends, there is room for everyone to shine. The sun shines for everyone. The sun is not biased. I would like to see a world in which we as human beings have that heart for all our fellow brothers and sisters, where we can be their cheerleaders. And as I was saying earlier, there are external wars, but there are also internal wars which are happening within us. I would really want to see a world where we have resolved those internal wars within us. Thank you so much, and over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pratima, for that great take. Moving on, now may I request our veteran Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Sourindra Bhowmick, for taking the next topic.
Sure, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Your topic is, if you have the option to choose, what would you choose from amongst fame, power, and money? If you have the option to choose, what would you choose from amongst fame, power, and money? Over to you.
Thank you, sir. It's a very difficult choice. While each one of them is interdependent, and each one of them by themselves are a very attractive proposition in front of you. The way I look at it, and I have always felt that whether it is fame, whether it is money or power, if you are willing to accept that life can go along without you, then some of that is no more materialistic to you. If you are without money, you will always crave for the other two. If you have the fame, people will acknowledge you, and money and maybe power will follow. If you have the power, then people will only support you because you may not have the feelings to extend to them, and maybe an egoistic person who is going to not use the love and affection that you could gain when you are powerful. If you have money and if you are lucky to be in that position, if you are going to only crave for money and not be able to share that with people who have helped you to come to that place, then that money is of no value. To me, all three are important, but in different grades. I think we as human beings must understand the power of each one of them and be able to understand that we are just a small floating wood piece in the ocean, and we cannot be an all-prevailing person. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Sourindra Bhowmick. Moving on, now I'm going to call the Toastmaster of the day, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh. Would you like to take the topic? Thank you. Rupinder Singh, your topic is laughter is not the best medicine. Laughter is not the best medicine. Over to distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh.
Why is laughter not the best medicine? I think laughter is the best medicine because that is what the quote says. I have seen so many people laugh away at their problems. In fact, I firmly believe in a quote that the robbed that smiles takes something away from the thief. I can cite an example. 2011, my mother, suffering from liver cancer, was undergoing multiple rounds of chemotherapy. And every time she would see her grandson, she would always give him a big, wide smile. And you know what her grandson, my son, would come and tell me? He would come and say that she is going to be all right because she is smiling. That is the power of a smile. It can instill courage even when you are suffering. So, Mr. Table Topic Master, I disagree with you that laughter is not the best medicine. In many cases, it might be the only medicine we have. I have heard a story where a person who was shot during World War II, the doctor came to him and said, "You will not make it." And he looked at him and he smiled. He said, "You're wrong. Not only am I not going to make it, I'm going to make it out to the battlefront." And guess what? He did. Our human body contains many things that we do not know of. But one thing that we do know of is a smile. We encourage our speakers to smile. We encourage our speakers to laugh. We encourage our speakers to make others laugh. So to summarize, Mr. Table Topic Master, laughter is the best medicine, not the other one. Thank you.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh. Before we move ahead, I would like to inform the members in the audience that at one of the contests at a club level, I was the contestant and this topic was given by me, and the winner was the person who did not agree with the topic. Thank you very much. Moving on, may I request Toastmaster Ashok Sharma to take the next topic?
Sure, Raj.
Thank you, Ashok. Your topic is, there is a will, there will be relatives. There is a will, there will be relatives. Over to you, Ashok.
Thank you. Thank you, Raj, for giving this wonderful topic. And this topic is very relative in today's world. And as we say that success has many fathers, so this is also related to the same. When you have a will, when you have something to share, then definitely you will have a lot of people who will come and share the piece of success. I can tell you a real story. I am working as a learning and development manager. Last year in my company, I joined that company new, and I initiated certain new initiatives about the learning. And when we initiated that, so I initially didn't got any support. Then I got some resistance also, and that too from the top leadership level, and they were like that this will not work. This doesn't work in this company. And I tried my level best. I worked for very good time, put in all efforts and everything, and finally I made that happen. And I was amazed to see that in a town hall, person is appreciating me that I have done that. And he added that as I guided him, he was able to work. And this is the way he proceeded in this entire achievement. So person took the entire credit for that work. And that's a reason whenever you are successful, you will have a lot of people who will come and tell you that they are partner in your success. While when you fail, then you fail alone. When you win with a lot of others. And even if you don't give them space, they take it. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashok. Now, may I request Toastmaster Anna Whistler to take the next topic? Anna?
You got it.
Thank you, Anna. Your topic is, what guides a life better? a day after a night, or a night after a day? What guides a life better? A day after a night, or a night after a day? Over to you, Anna Whistler.
Can you state it one more time for me? I'm sorry.
Okay, your topic is what guides a life better? A day after a night, or a night after a day? I repeat, what guides a life better? A day after a night, or a night after a day?
I believe that we all have the opportunity every single day to wake up and experience the most that we possibly can. Now, for many of us, we don't wake up until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, right about the time when we're headed home from work. In that case, life becomes better in the evening. We're able to explore our hobbies, experience adventures, go out into the world and see new things. But for others, those who wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, go for their run, start their day off strong, they have days let better in life. They achieve more in their job. They find more accomplishments in their day. So to find a balance, or to find the one that sticks out better, I have actually made the decision to do both. Now, I am not someone who gets up at 4 a.m. in the morning to go and run. If I'm running, that means someone's chasing me. So you better start running too. And nighttime just seems to be the case where I get to talk to people from other countries, be a part of their culture, engulf myself in new areas. So to choose a decision between life and during the day, or life is better at night, I think I'm going to choose the lack of sleep and just decide to sleep when I'm dead. Thank you, Raj.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anna. Now, this shall be my last topic. Who would like to take it? Kapil? Please, yeah, Kapil.
Sure.
Kapil, your topic is a journey without a companion is a journey completed, but not a journey accomplished. A journey without a companion is a journey completed, but not a journey accomplished. Over to you, Kapil.
Okay, thank you, Raj, for the topic. And I very well resonates with this particular topic, because I recall my first trip, for my maiden trip to US. I traveled alone. It was a 20 hours flight, and I was all alone. And even in US, there was no colleague of mine who came together for a meeting. So I didn't know anyone at that time, because I very recently joined that organization, and immediately I was asked to travel. Now, I didn't have any friends over there. I didn't travel with my companion in a plane. So it was a very boring journey for me. And there I realized that it is my first trip to US. I mean, I was quite excited about that. But since I do not have any companion, I am unable to enjoy it. I get enough time after office hours, but still I couldn't enjoy myself. Every now and then I try to call out some of my friends in US that if you could spare some time and come over to me so that I can get some company and I can go to some places. Like my first trip to US was to Michigan, and I wanted to travel to that Niagara Fall place. I thought that it would be near to that place because Michigan to Canada is not that far. They shares the border. But that guy said, "Are you going to reimburse me? It's going to be hell of a cost for him to travel to your place." Well, my first trip, I mean, I didn't enjoy that trip. from work front, it was all good, but it wasn't, I didn't enjoy that all. And not only this particular trip, I traveled to US 2 more times after that. And that again, it was all alone and to different cities. So yes, a travel without a companion is a waste. If you can avoid, just don't travel. That's the learning I got. Over to you.
Thank you, Kapil. With this, we come to the end of this session, which is tabletop session. I am sure that you must have enjoyed. I also thank all the participants who spoke on the topics. Before we conclude, I would request to cast your poll for the best table topic speaker. Rupinder, if you want, I can repeat the, okay. Here is the poll. Please cast your vote. Thank you once again. Over to Toastmaster of the day, Rupinder Singh, distinguished Toastmaster.
Thank you, Raj. And it did certainly bring alive some memories. I did hear of those topics in some table topics contest, and I can say with a reasonable degree of confidence that a lot of you answered better than the winner that day. Thank you. And now we move to the final section of the meeting today, which is the evaluation section. And the third contest that our district is going to have, in addition to the international speech contest, and the table topics contest, is the evaluation speech contest. Evaluation speech contest in many ways works like the table topics contest. By the way, there is no eligibility as such for, no qualifying eligibility as such for the evaluation and the table topics contests. You just have to be a Toastmaster in good standing, in a club in good standing. What is a club in good standing? A club that has 8 members or more. And we have 8 members or more, so we are a club in good standing. And since you're a member of a club in good standing. What happens in an evaluation speech contest? There is a target speaker who will deliver a speech. Let's say that Rupinder is a target speaker who delivers a speech. And the rest of you are going to evaluate it. So Rupinder delivers a 5 to 7 minute speech. You can start writing evaluation as soon as Rupinder starts speaking. After that, you will get 5 minutes to complete your evaluations. And then you will be escorted into another room, but the first contestant will be asked to stay behind. And then the first contestant will give their evaluation. Second contestant will come and give their evaluation. The third contestant will come and give their evaluation, and so on and so forth until we run out of evaluation contestants. That's how the evaluation speech contest works. And now I am going to ask Kapil, who's just been invited to Niagara Falls, and I am jealous because of that, to take on the evaluation section. Kapil, over to you.
Thank you, Rupinder. Now let's begin our section number 3, evaluation. And let's evaluate our speaker number first. And for that, let me invite distinguished Toastmaster Sourindra Bhowmick. Sourindra, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kapil Kakkar. Madam Toastmaster Pratima Razdan. Today, you got me back to the good old Enid Blyton stories, and especially that particular story that I read long back after snatching away the book from my sister, The Galeno Circus. In that, I remember there was a bit which was written was that the best way to treat obstacles is to use them as stepping stones. laugh at them, tread on them, and let them lead you to something better. I loved the finesse and the excellent way of presenting yourself and portraying yourself as a brat when you were a young kid. I loved the way you were able to create those stories about the chaos and misery that you created for others. A true erect speech. I loved each part of it, and I loved the part where you would not share the chocolate. There is this amazing way of presenting that you have, which today you were able to emote. Your hands were so powerfully used, and every time that you spoke about the various points, the twos and the ones, they were really brilliant. And as you grew up, the way you became an explorer and seeker of truth, it came through so brilliantly. Your love for different dance forms was shown in the way you articulated the various feelings that came through. And I loved the way when you said, give us that small imaginary world that you were getting into when you were transporting yourself. And the way you closed your eyes and you had your hands over, it was brilliant. And this paradise of learning was something that you really, really transported all of us into. I am so impressed. Thank you for having given us this particular story of yourself, which was a brilliant way of introducing yourself to all of us as your icebreaker. What I'm really looking forward to is to know what is that 12th commandment of Moses that you're going to tell us all about, hopefully in one of your speeches very soon. I'm not going to give you any recommendation because this is your first speech, but I will say as a recommendation, please give such beautiful speeches and just grow over it. It's the way you're going. Just go on and on. Thank you very much. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sourindra sir, for the detailed evaluation. Let me invite evaluator number 2, Anna Whistler. Anna.
Thank you, General Evaluator Kapil. Ashok, I am very impressed. For this being your third speech, you had a lot of knowledge, a lot of research, and it was obvious. I could see every bit of it. Your video was established and its sound and quality was great. No part of it was glitching. I was able to see you clearly. And I loved the D4 concept. I've heard it before, but not explained as well as you have. You went into detail and gave us explanations and examples of it. You even had repetition in there, which is crucial when you're trying to get a point across. So you gave the 4 Ds, delete, defer, delegate, do. You gave them multiple times to allow us to keep those in and sync them in. I will caution you a little bit on some repetition. Repetition is great when you're coming across on a point, but be cautious about when you're repeating the same words. So you use the word approach on the task or approach the task in multiple pieces or multiple times. If you're working to try to make that as an emphasis, try using a different word than approach. And a thesaurus is going to be great to help you with that. So instead of just approach the task, it will be conquer the task or achieve or something to that extent. So that way you're giving it another idea for others to listen to. I also want to challenge you to be willing to share some personal stories. So you could give an example of a time where you had to delete something, delete a task, or you did well delegating a task. Providing that as your part of your speech gives you more confidence and allows us to just be a little bit more comfortable with you as well. The thing I'm going to challenge you on is two things. We'll say two things. Hand gestures. I could tell you were using your hands, but all I saw was the tops of your hands. So as you are speaking, make sure your camera is a little bit farther away. I would also petition it to be up a little bit higher so that it's straight onto your face. I could tell you were looking down a little bit, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't something that was, I would say, anything bad against. But pushing it back just a little bit allows us to see your hands and your gestures, and use it, D1, D2, give us that reminder as well. And the other thing that I was told at the very beginning of my Toastmasters realm is that you do not have to thank the audience. The audience should be thanking you. So while you appreciate us listening, you can, I don't typically end it with a thank you. So I would challenge you not to do that. End it with a challenge for what D4 are you going to be able to conquer tomorrow? Overall, I could tell your research was there. I loved what you were giving us. It was very conclusive, and I look forward to hearing you speak again.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. Now let me invite our third evaluator, Sumit Juneja, to evaluate Sheila.
It is when somebody wants to evaluate someone who loves the evaluation contest and the best contest and want to participate there, it is a little difficult to figure out those little nuances where the speech can be improved upon. Sheila, your speech was bang on. This is one of the speech types, like understanding your communication style or understanding your leadership style, which it becomes really difficult to make it interesting for the audience. But to believe me, today you made it interesting for the audience by stating the stories from the recent past, which we all can associate with. The best thing that I like about your speech, the way you have delivered with the body language that you have, the way you have presented your speech, you took up a challenge to give a speech by standing a little far from the place and then being exposed your complete body to showcase the complete body gestures. That's the very good part of the speech that we have seen today. There was vocal variety, and you were able to picturize the other side of the story by changing side like this. And you were talking about the story from your front side, and the gestures were right, and you were at comfort and ease. So that's the best part that came out in your speech, is the body language. It was completely at ease. The second thing that I like about your speech was that it is full of stories and examples. You use the story from your recent accident that has come, that you have witnessed, and also you connected it with the leadership style, the communication style that you have used. In terms of supportive communication style, you took the example of a doormat to really make the audience feel that what it could lead to if you were excessively supportive with people in your communication style. Monopolizing the communication possibility is a very good thing that came out when you were talking about initiating conversation style. Analytical and spontaneous is something that you compare with each other and then figure out that how the kids would like something and then somebody would not like certain kind of communication style. The area for little bit improvement was when it comes to the start of your speech. For a longish period of time, I was not able to figure out that what this story is leading to which types of communication style, and that was probably some feature at my end. I was having some little trouble with internet issues with that. But this is what I felt, that in a very start of the speech, an impact could have been created. Those stories was interesting, but some of us might not have been able to attach ourselves completely to the story. And first communication style came up very far within the speech. In terms of when we give a standing speech, and that too from a little bit far from the device, understanding what is the audience is reacting and what is the audience reaction to your speech, and then changing your speech according to the reaction by audience is something that gets compromised. So that's one takeaway for you. Overall, I find that the closing of your speech is also amazing in the sense that you gave us a message in the end that if we are aware about our weaknesses, and if we can work, if we can just look around and in our nearby, those who are nearby us and can learn from those and improve upon our weaknesses, that's the best possible way to learn about our weaknesses. So that's something where the closing box also with a message makes the speech very, very interesting and very, very rewarding for the audience to learn from you. Overall, I'll just say that it's a difficult speech for me at least, and as Rupinder said that we would have learned certainly from you, and we'll like to imitate some part of your speech in our next speech when I give the speech next. Thank you for this wonderful speech, Sheila. We'll love to listen more from you. Over to you, Kapil.
Thank you, Sumit. Thank you. It's time to take a poll for our best evaluator. Rupinder, can you roll out? Okay, I guess most of us have submitted it. So it's time for me to evaluate our table topics. So Raj, you demonstrated why these contests are difficult with your difficult table topics, because some of them were really difficult. It off-guarded many of us. If you sweat hard during peace, you won't be required to shed blood during wars. Elyssa. Yeah, I felt that Elyssa was not comfortable initially, but I think then she gathered some thoughts and then she stitched the story. So yeah, you off-guarded her first, Raj. Okay. Let someone else win today. Sumangal, yes, you were very right when you explained this particular topic. We see happiness in each other's win, and that is the, I mean, if the whole world can be like this, certainly it will be a better place to live. So you worded it very nicely. What would be the word be like when you wake up one morning in 2050? This was the topic given to Pratima, and Pratima, I loved the take you had on this particular topic, because instead of answering it directly that how do you want to look 2050, you rather correlated it with the current scenario of 2021. Again, I like the way you correlated it with the current scenario. If you have an option to choose, what would be you choose from among us? What would you choose from among us? Fame, power, and money. This was the topic given to Sourindra. Again, instead of answering one particular answer, he rather explained the merits and demerits of all the threes. And again, I love the way he stitched the whole story. So well done, Sourindra. Every time I listen to you, it made me realize that how much I need to learn more. Laughter is not the best medicine. Loved your counter, Rupinder. I loved your counter that how, and you related it with your own story of your mother. Again, yeah, we all agree that laughter is the best medicine. I think the idea was to off guard you, but very seldom I see you getting off guard in table topics. There is a will, there will be relatives. It was a funny topic. And Ashok, you could have answered it in a more funnier way, but yes, your take was also right. Your own experience was quite right. So well done. What guides a life better, a day after a night or a night after a day? For Anna, Again, you succeeded, Raj, in off-guarding Anna. She took a while to understand the topic, gather her thoughts and deliver. But once she understood that topic, she delivered it very well. And then comes Kapil. A journey without a companion is a journey completed, but not a journey accomplished. I feel that I could have answered it better, but nevertheless, that is where at times I'm not comfortable. That is why I hate table topics. So keep choosing me, Raj. Someday I will win this table topic contest. Okay, thank you. Now it's time to evaluate, or rather, it's time to invite our tag team. So I will first invite our grammarian. Hope she is silent today. So Hope, it's time for you to speak.
Pardon, let me just get screen together. So, what a wonderful day with words. And I, as your grammarian, have been quite entertained with everyone's grammar usage. The word of the day was arete, and I was filled with arete, and because Rupinder, the Toastmaster of the day, was the only member to use arete. We still have some time left in the meeting, so you can gather all the arete in your body to use the word arete. I will tell you one last time so we can get it in a few times before the meeting is over. Blue Quest members are constant examples of arete. So after the word of the day, I have a list of slight improvements that may be made for future speeches. Small improvements. I would ask Sheila, beautiful speech. I've been there. I think we all have been there with a car that is not working or something that needs to be fixed. While you were speaking, the use of the man was used for the service person. I would encourage on your future speeches to name the service person or build the description. When the name, the man, it leaves questions to be answered. Was the man your husband? Was the man the service person? So I encourage for future speeches to name the service person or just build a description for them. Ashok, thank you for presenting your speech. I would encourage using a word instead of relook. That was the only small improvement, was relook. And a suggestion is possibly cross-examine, review, delve, or explore. It sounds pleasing to the ear, and it enables us to add an additional word to our own personal vocabularies. Now, on to the fun part. Revisit is also another word. Thank you, Rupinder. The fun part. The good stuff that stuck to my ears, because I love words, I love to talk, I love hearing great phrases. Ashok, I was left captivated with the phrase, when you are surrounded by so much knowledge, add value to you. If you don't have the scope of escaping, that was a great one. If you don't have the scope of escaping, and we are all human beings wired for a process. Sheila, I loved your phrases, wonderful phrases, had to be methodical. I will talk your ear off. I relate to that. I share that experience as well. Have a method that works for you. Wonderful phrases, Sheila. Thank you for sharing your love of speaking. Elyssa, incredibly essential. You started your table topics with this, which just struck me into pondering into what you were about to say. Can you make yourself indelible? Can you? Can you? Sumangal, thank you for your table topics. It was beautiful, specifically when you used the phrase, seeing the other person win will bring a winning feeling. Seeing my brother win will bring me a winning feeling. You built a story on how you embraced your family excelling in whatever they do. Beautiful use of language, and thank you for sharing your love of your family. I also was really captivated by Pratima. Let us examine how the world looks currently. Let us examine. You started with the question, and I started to examine how the world looks. A world of duality. The sun shines for all of us. There's enough room for everyone to shine, and we all should shine. Rupinder, I can cite an example. Immediately, you told us exactly what you were going to tell us. Big, wide smile. You built the picture of your son seeing your mother. It was beautiful. She is going to be all right because she is smiling. Smiling, laughter, happiness, the only medicine we have. So many phrases. One of the most profound phrases I must give to Sourindra: interdependent, attractive proposition. Life can go on without you. One of the most impactful phrases was, we are a small wood piece in the ocean. I loved how you built that, just that small piece of wood floating in the ocean. Because I live on an island, I can easily create that picture. And it really summed up your total picture of your table topics. So that is my grammarian word report. I am enamored by all the phrases that are used. Please continue to use such beautiful, beautiful phrases, and I will see you next week. I will hand it back over to General Evaluator Kapil.
Thank you, Hope. Thank you so much for the detailed evaluation. Now it's time to invite our counter of the day, Elyssa.
Thank you so much, Kapil. Let me share my screen so you all can see how you did. Well, the winning word for today was no surprise. Second place, so. Once again, we want to replace this word with more specific vocabulary. In terms of the word I was having you watch out for, thing, it did get used a number of times, included by myself. And again, what we want is, as Patricia Fripp said, who is a master in the public speaking world, she said, specificity brings, and I forgot the quote. Okay, let's see. Specificity brings, no, I'll keep thinking about it. But anyway, the point is to be very specific. Now, for example, this word very gets used often. It's very beautiful. It's very amazing. It's very outstanding. But there are other words we could use in its place when we say incredibly astonishing, amazingly rapturous, surprisingly beautiful. And we have such exquisite vocabulary words. It's best to use these other ones instead of using things like very or thing or everything. Having said that, the best part of this is that we have next week to keep working on it. and a wonderful group and team of people who are doing an amazing, fantastic job. Many congratulations to each one of you, and I look forward to hearing you next time. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Elyssa. Okay, Sumangal, over to you for your timers report.
Yeah. Thanks, General Evaluator, for giving me this opportunity of noting down the times. I'm glad that today we don't have any disqualifications for speakers and table topics. So let me share my screen for a detailed review. Is the screen visible?
Yes.
So for the speakers and for the table topics, we don't have any disqualification, but I do see some of the overtime for the speech evaluation with Sourindra sir and Sumit. So maybe next time we can work over that. And overall, it was a good meeting on the time based. So this was the detailed review of the timings. And back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Sumangal. Thank you so much. Rupinder, you want to roll out poll for the best role player? Okay, wonderful. Okay. I think we are done. We are almost on the top of the hour, so I will not take much time and will quickly hand over the stage back to our team mode. We started on time, so we meeting went as per plan. We are a bit over time by now, but yes, it started on time. Hope you were a bit late in joining our meeting. Apart from that, other role players were well on time. So that is brief on hygiene part of our today's meeting. Now let me hand over the stage back to our Toastmaster of the day, Rupinder. Over to you. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I need to evaluate T mode and TTM as well. My apologies. Thank you, Raj. All right, so very well chosen topic, Rupinder, given the scenario that contests are coming, and it gives us fair idea. I never knew that we have 10 semi-finalists. I always wanted to ask this question, that how many semi-finalists are there in the international speech contest, but never asked. But now I know that we have 10, that's 16, 16 or 14 and 10 finalists, right?
Sorry, it would be 28. 2 semi-finalists from each region. It's 28.
Okay. Okay, so it gives us fair idea about these speech contests. So great topic chosen, Rupinder. And table topics, what should I say, Raj? Quite tough topics and very engaging topics, I must say. And now we have a fair idea that we need to prepare well if we want to participate in table topics. We cannot go like this in table topics. Oh, it's a 2-minute random topic. So how can you prepare yourself? But I think you cannot prepare yourself for the topic, but one can always prepare himself or herself mentally. That how do you want to, you want to keep your calm, how to gather thoughts if some difficult topic comes up. So yeah, so great way. But we don't you think, Rupinder, we should have one small session from someone like you or Sourindra on table topics or any contest? That what are the tips?
We will when the contest time comes around.
All right, so we will plan that session. I think Sumit, you have a job to do. We need to plan that calendar. Okay, now let me turn the stage back to Rupinder. Rupinder.
Thank you, Kapil. One of the challenges of being a Toastmaster of the meeting is that you can't get to eat your breakfast. You have to munch on nuts. And when Kapil first said that he's going to hand it over, my mouth was full and I was wondering, what am I going to do? Thank you, Raj sir, for being a savior over there. Now, I said that there are a total of 6 contests. I told you about 4 of them. So there's the international speech contest, there's the table topics contest, there's the evaluation speech contest. Those are being conducted by our districts. Now, if you are a part of another district, your district might be conducting some other contests. What are those contests? One is the humorous speech contest. It is a 5 to 7 minute speech, which should be humorous yet informative in nature with a message. So it cannot be a stand-up comedy act. And the other one is a tall tales contest, which is a 3 to 5 minute speech, which is exaggerated. Now, I have taken part in a tall tales mock contest, and I can tell you that those are absolutely fun. The last speech contest, I told you about it already. It's the videotape contest. It is for undistricted clubs, where you send in a recording of your speech and the best speaker is decided amongst them at the international speech contest. But before I close, here is a contest that does not require that a lot of people do not know about. And I would say it is the arete of all the contests in Toastmasters, and that is the accredited speaker. Accredited speaker is a program from Toastmasters International, wherein if you qualify, you will be recognized as an accredited speaker, which means that you are actually a professional speaker. To qualify, there are a lot of criteria that you have to fulfill. You need to have given at least 25 speeches with an audience of 20 or more, and a few of those will have to be paid assignments. You will also have to be qualified at a certain level. I know that in the traditional program, the level is Advanced Communicator Bronze. I don't have clarity on what is the equivalent level in pathways. I have written to Toastmasters International. I haven't got an answer yet. But accredited speaker is something that every one of us should go for. Why? While there is going to be only one world champion of public speaking, and while there are going to be about 33, while there is going to be only one world champion of public speaking, there can be multiple accredited speakers. The year when I went to Chicago, there were 6 accredited speakers. This year, there are 2. And just to give you how what an honor it is to be an accredited speaker, there are fewer than 100 accredited speakers as of now. So that is the level of excellence. Well, today it was all about telling you about the excellence part of Toastmasters. Hopefully, you are better informed on contests, particularly the newer Toastmasters, Sumangal and Sumangal, Sheila and Pratima. And I hope I will see you all contesting. But remember, the eligibility to qualify for an ISC is a level 2. So please complete those level 2s as soon as possible. It was an honor being your Toastmaster of the meeting. I will hand it back to our Presiding Officer, Kapil.
Thank you, Rupinder. We don't have to take feedback because we don't have any guest, and Raj is, of course, no longer a guest, or rather, I don't treat him as a guest. One thing that I want to say to Sumit, that we need to complete TLI2 training. While Sheila and I both are confirming that we will do this week, we need to chase Amit and Vikas because we want them to get this training completed. So while I will also try to reach out to them, you please also try to reach out to them. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Do you want to take roles for the next week?
Yeah.
Or you want, or since we are almost on, I mean, we are quite late now, so we can fill it over.
Give their names immediately. So
yeah, okay.
1 minute, it will help.
Sure.
So we have most of the roles available for the next week. Sourindra sir has giving a speech. Apart from that, other roles are open. Please let me know. Pratima, which role?
Raising his.
Table topic master.
Done. And Sheila?
Wherever you need me.
Okay. Anna?
Toastmaster of the meeting, Sheila.
Sure.
Any role that you want to take?
I can either deliver a speech or I can evaluate a speech. Anything.
Okay, Rasa, I'll let you know about it.
Fine.
But we haven't heard a speech from you in a long time.
Yeah, I will speak. I would love to speak.
Anna?
Thank you.
Hope, but which role you are taking next week?
Hope is taking speaker.
Okay. And Sumangal?
You are mute, Sumangal.
Sorry. So I might not be able to take a role next week because I will be traveling. So
Sure. So I think Kapil, between me and you, will take some available roles. And
Anna, are you able to come to the meeting next week? You'll be in Bahamas, I think.
I don't know exactly yet. I know I will be flying out my Wednesday morning.
Mhm.
So I should be able to, but I have no idea quite yet.
Okay.
So that thing that completes the role taking part, and we can discuss offline the details.
Sure.
Okay. So here are the certificates. I'll just very quickly share. The standing ovation goes to, oh, I haven't shared. The standing ovation goes to Pratima Razdan. Many congratulations for your icebreaker. The third best table topic speaker goes to Toastmaster Sumangal. Great job done.
Are you awarding this money? Are you awarding these monies to the winners?
Have I shared the wrong screen?
Yeah.
I think I've shared the wrong screen.
I think he really wants to give it out to people.
Yeah, I first need to have it with me in the first place. So before I start giving out money to people. And you know that I'd give it out in a heartbeat. So again, Pratima, recognition for your standing ovation award. Sumangal, many congratulations, third best table topic speaker. Elyssa Schneider, you ran up, but you got an award. I'll probably take your award on your behalf, but I'll just put my name here. And the best table topic speaker today was Sourindra Bhowmick. Many congratulations.
Thank you.
The best speech evaluator today actually qualified and was the best speech evaluator. So many congratulations, analyst. You not only earned it, you qualified for it. So many congratulations. The best auxiliary role player. What can you do when there is hope? Hope all over. Congratulations. And I have another joke on your sister being named Faith, but I'll probably share it with
Oh
you.
no.
Oh yes. So the best role player goes to the best humorous speaker or the person who can make everyone laugh. You should laugh now, everyone. Start laughing. Start laughing. Rupinder Singh. Yes, I got you to laugh. All right. And the best speaker. It's so heartening when we see a first timer win this. Many congratulations, Pratima Razdan. You won it by one vote, by the way, for what it is worth. So honorable mention to Sheila McIntyre as well. Both were wonderful speeches. As totally in awe. I wish I could give an icebreaker like that. And the 12th commandment would not have anything to do with ice cream, right, Pratima? Pratima is not there. I'm going to take advantage of that.
I said, no, no, I'm not revealing it now.
So you will make it about X.
I'll use it to my favor, tweak it as and when required.
There is a God above who's watching you. Always remember that. Okay, with that, thank you very much. I'm going to end meeting for all, and I'll stop the recording first.
You.